Okay, assembly of the light, LED lights. These pop into here, and the LED lights feed down in through the inside. Once you have those fed in, make sure that your little pivots pivot. Work them in really good. I'll feed all these in. I'll put all these little lights in. The little button that I designed for the tray for this size button, I ordered these off of eBay, and they fit in really nice in the little pocket that I designed, so you'd have an on switch and an off switch. And the tray fits on the back. Once you've fed the LEDs through here, make sure that your pivot works good. After you've got all your LEDs in and you've made sure all your pivots are working good, feed your wires through the front. And if you want, you can super glue this in. The hole's tapered so that it'll perfectly be okay like that. I dip my my 3D prints in acetone to harden them up a little bit. It makes them, the layers glue together a little bit. I don't particularly like the glossy look that it gives. It's alright, but you can tell. And I could have made the strip a little bit longer, but for this particular design I wanted it only to be about 6 inches long. And that's all the wiring. And like I said, just make sure that they can pivot really good, nice and easy. And next I'll shorten these wires up to connect them to the switch. Before I solder this together, I want to super glue my switch in. So I'm just going to put a little drop of super glue around this outside edge. And push that back in. Hold it in place for a minute. Make sure my tabs are clear. That should be good. Okay. Hold it in place for a minute longer. And you can super glue these in if you want to. I didn't, because I thought, you know, who knows, I might have to change them or want to change them. And but you can certainly super glue them in place. There. Now to solder this, because the wires are so fine, you might want to be careful how long you have the heat on. Use some flux on the wire. Make sure you've got that on there. I like to get the soldering gun hot. Melt some solder to it. And then just touch it to that. If you use the flux, it flows pretty fast. So now my wires are soldered together, cools down fast, and I'm going to do the same thing to this front tab. Get a little flux on there. Hope you can see this okay. I'm going to get my solder all melted. I've got enough on there. And just touch it too. By getting some solder on there in the first place, it's easier to get these two connected. Grab some needle nose pliers. And just get them let it cool, and it's done. Give a little tug, make sure it's okay. So I left myself more than enough wire. That should be okay. I'll finish the connection. I'm going to use a simple connector for connecting this end to this end. Because of the size of these, thinness of these wires, I'm going to fold this over and feed it in. So just make sure you get a good connection. I have to fold it over a little better than that. There. Slide that in. Crimp it together. Check and make sure they don't pull out. And now just stuff all the wires down inside. Easier said than done, but they will fit. Yeah. Okay, after getting it all together, I decided I would super glue mine into position. Just makes it a little less problematic for the wiring in the background. Pull this out just a hair. Put a little super glue on there. Rotate it in. If you have accelerant for super glue, it's always nice to have. Instead of having to hold something for 2 or 3 minutes, you can always just give it a bump with instant cure. That works nice. So, lights all in, everything's glued down. Oh, I don't think I glued this last one in place. I'm going to pull this one out. A little super glue on here. Push that down into where I want it. And you have your LED light strip. Decide how long you want your cord to be. This one is, these LEDs are go up to 40 watts. So, or 40 volts. So I have on my CNC machine, I have a 24 volt controller. My motion controller is a 24 volt. So that's what I'm going to do. If you want to do this and hook it up to a battery, you can, but you'd have to set up the LEDs have to be, 1.5 to 3 or 6 or 9 volts or whatever you want to do that. But there's the light strip. Okay, so here's the LED light strip. Like I said, I use a 24 volt controller for my CNC, which is this, and I simply wired the connectors on the ends, feed in this last one, tighten it up. Plug in my controller and push the button. Voila, bright LED lights. I already have one of these set up on the light ring, which I have for the patterns in there, but for the sake of the Instructable, it was easier to just do this. So once you have these, you can directionalize your LEDs wherever you want. Hang this wherever you want. In this case, I might put this like up on the side of my CNC machine or maybe underneath. Not sure. Thanks for taking the time to view this Instructable. I hope you enjoy it, and if you have any questions, please contact me at carriebrace@darkhorsecues.com. Here's the light ring. Everything goes together the same. The wiring's all the same as it is. Switch goes on the end on this one. Just make sure when you put these on that you're able to rotate them into the direction that you want them. That they move freely. Work them in really good. On hindsight, I probably could have made those little posts a little bigger in diameter or a lot bigger in diameter. Don't know why I went so small, but maybe I was just looking for size, but that's the way I did it. Thank you.